Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Simply Sketchy. And I'm once again joined by Bleach Demon. Hello there. How you doing?
Greetings, salutations. I have nice silky vocal cords today.
Yeah, running around shouting orders. I have a tendency of doing that.
You gotta defeat the French somehow.
Yeah. Ugh, French. They're barely even people when you think about it. Honestly, I think today's
Indeed.
subject is even more people than French.
Oh, that's quite a condemning statement. Saying the moon-eyed people of Appalachia are more human than the French.
I know enough French. I'm also sure that a lot of the people watching here are willing to condemn the French equally.
Well, equally, unequally, does it really matter?
They're French, doesn't matter at all. So,
We.
hon baguette.
I couldn't resist.
I get it. So, as we can see, these are enormously eyed people, whereas I suppose the moon-eyed people get their names from.
That's a big part of it. So they were supposed to have lived underground for the most part, and so the moon-eyed people are predominant in Cherokee lore, which is another eastern. Well, once again, an eastern tribe that we're talking about. We seem to cover them quite a bit, actually.
Well, aren't they like one of the better tribes in
So
terms of
they were
lore
part
and
of
achievements?
one of the was it the 5 or 7 civilized tribes, as they were once called? They actually fought the United States government in court. That they ultimately lost, which is kind of a shame, but it shows that they were very much adapting to the new paradigm.
Yeah.
But so they're fascinating people culturally. They developed their own alphabet, which is rare for an indigenous peoples. Yeah, and it was all to preserve their language and culture, and that started sometime after their removal from the east out into Oklahoma territory. But that's that's relatively immaterial, and compared to where we're we're going with this story. So the moon-eyed people were one of the primary tribes that the Cherokee pushed out of the Appalachians, or Appalachians, whichever you prefer, audience. And they were referred to as light-skinned and bearded often, which makes that makes them a very curious part of lore. And there's a lot of archaeological findings that predate the Cherokee and predate other tribes that were pushed out of the Appalachians. Fort Mountain, not North Carolina, Fort Mountain, Georgia, is one of those sites, and there's some walls and pits that haven't fully, last I checked, haven't fully been fleshed out as to why and how they were used. Big part of that's just they're so old, there's very little left. Water destroys just about anything and everything. But the moon-eyed people were said to have built these according to Cherokee lore, which again makes them very interesting. The other thing is they were considered to be very short in stature. Now, you never quite get an idea of how big from the lore, but they were referred to as the little people. So kind of Like, okay, we're talking gnomes, dwarves, what, some
Yeah,
other
the description you gave
Western
me,
analog.
the pre-recording description you gave me is really just making me think of like ancient Norse dwarves.
Yeah,
Stocky,
yeah,
a bit strongly built, but essentially short, compact.
and the other thing is the eyes. They had pale skin and large blue eyes, which is an interesting feature for North America. And they also only did things at night, which,
Nocturnal dwarves.
yeah, I mean, it's kind of wild when you think about it. This is a very supernatural sounding enemy, but the lore talks about, they were out there, in active warfare against the Cherokee.
Really?
And yeah, there's I can't remember. There's two famous battle sites where the Cherokee said that they defeated their enemies. One of them is Bald Mountain on the Tennessee-North Carolina border, and I cannot remember the other one. But according to the lore, they defeated one of their enemies there.
Right.
Yeah, it was
And
basically a
these guys
slaughter at
were,
the
and these guys they were pretty much antagonistic towards them.
to the Cherokee. Yeah, they were one of the big enemies of the Cherokee that were not, like the Aurora tribe, which was the other tribe, and the Auroras, if I remember correctly, got wiped out by the Cherokee, just gone. But the thing with the Moon-Eyed people, also called like Yunwei Sunsti, something like that. They would supposedly they entered a agreement after the Cherokee had defeated them in battle at times to withdraw, but it wasn't just a one pitched battle and they're gone. It was generations of warfare.
Yeah.
Which is interesting that it's not just this one incident here and there. It's like multi-generational war. So the other thing I think that's worth pointing out early with the Moon-Eyed people is they often get conflated with some myths about, I think, Welsh Prince Maddoc Modoc supposedly ended up in North America and had a tribe that got wiped out or assimilated. So, of course, people are like, well, maybe it's the same group and just misidentified or changed in lore. And yeah, I don't know if I quite buy that. The timing.
So people are trying to be like, oh, the
vague.
Moon-Eyed people were just another group of people.
We're just basically white people that ended up there. That sort of thing. But when there's supposed archaeological discoveries of like tiny skeletons of like 19 inches or up to 24 inches, so that's 3/4 of a meter,
Right.
75% of a meter. So
So
pretty
they were
small
genuine
people.
hobbits then.
Yeah,
Well, they have proven that there were some species of early human that was really short.
yep.
Really interesting.
So course, there's also people that's like, oh, they're aliens, which, whatever.
Aliens.
I-
Cue the image of
yeah,
that dude doing that hand gesture.
exactly. It's alien. No, I don't think that's anywhere near the case. But the really interesting thing about the Moon-eyed people is they permeate so much of the local lore, to the point, again, because they're nocturnal. One of the things in Appalachia is you don't go outside and whistle at night. That's it's one of those folk tales where it's like you're not supposed to do this, or it'll get you noticed, kind of things. It also later morphed into witches were attracted to whistling. But
Well, we did
it
have an
started out.
ancient. We do have something similar in Norway, sort of like an old wives' tale that whistling was the devil's violin.
Yeah, that's so. It's like you get these two cross-contaminated ideas,
Yeah.
It's really wild, honestly.
I do like it when different myths essentially cross over. Even though they're not always connected, there's this similarity. You know how dragons appear in different shapes all around the world?
Yeah, like you've got Thunderbird. Well, what we drew earlier in a previous episode of Simply Sketchy, the Pie-Saw bird.
Yeah, still one of my favorites.
And I just can't help but notice that when you go kind of looking for it instead of, oh, well, just this thing in isolation, there's so many myths that kind of get reshaped or turned into urban legends.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a lot of kind of crossover between the two.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And some myths just join other cultures and just evolve from there. If I'm not completely off my rocker now, there should be... I think the vampire was originally the Striga, and from there just evolved. One bloodsucker to another.
Yes. Yep. But I'm also thinking, like, in terms of, you've got the wild men of Europe, and then you've got Yeti and Sasquatch and Argo pelters, and
which we covered in a previous video.
Wait a minute. Yeah. And it's like, okay, why are all these things kind of vaguely similar?
Yeah, finding a dwarf-like creature in Native America was not on my bingo card this year.
Yep. It is interesting though, when it's like, wait a minute, these little guys that were considered one of the biggest threats to the Cherokee were so identical to other mythological creatures that around the world, and definitely not related to the Pukwudgies though. That's the other interesting thing. They're vastly different in both the physical description and whatnot, because the Moon-eyed people
are... the Pukwudgie was oh come on, the Pukwudgies were these more goblin-esque what was it, oh come on, what do you call Pinsvin in English again? Those rodents with spikes.
Oh yes, hedgehog, porcupine.
Hedgehog, yeah, porcupine, hedgehog. Pigsvin in Norwegian.
Yep. But here's the other thing that I do find kind of interesting with them is this connection to, like, their eyesight being very bad, because part of the reason why they got called moon-eyed wasn't because of the coloration of their eyes, but only because they came out at night, which, when you look at other cave-dwelling animals, where they tend to have very opaque eyes because they're not, they're almost vestigial, where they're not using them because it's like, hey, I live in a cave. Why am I going to do this? So it does make me wonder if there's some cross-contamination with that.
Whenever that is mentioned, I keep remembering one of those movies that made me terrified of caves, The Descent. Essentially, a subspecies of, I think, early humans hid in a cave, and from there it has evolved into this blind but sort of bat-like human beings. Cannibalistic, very dangerous, really creepy.
Interesting.
Yep. At least I watched one as a teenager. It scared the shit out of me.
So, I'm trying to think of, and I'll have to double check it. There was a tribe in somewhere in Central America that were also kind of referred to as moon-eyed people because they saw better at night too. So maybe there's some genetic marker.
Or if we're gonna go the whole cross-cultural, that someone from that area just traveled and brought the myth with them.
Yeah, it very well could be. Well, if you remember right, I'm trying to remember which episode it was, but we were talking about the mound builders that ended up, kind of like, okay, well, who exactly are they? It does make you wonder, were some of these older tribes kind of relatively advanced?
Yeah.
And
Makes you
also
wonder where it all
maybe
came
with
from,
certain genetic markers. Yeah. And also, maybe there's like a lot of albinism in that particular group because of some isolation.
I mean, also you have the fact that if they avoid sunlight a lot, they tend to get very pale.
Yeah. And
Really get
if you think about it.
Yeah, you don't get a lot of vitamin D from the moon.
Yeah, and so if you had this genetic, multi-generational genetic condition, and possibly multiple conditions, you could end up with a very large, a theoretically large population if they've been in isolation often enough.
Yeah, and you kind of need a large population in order to be remember to be at war with one of the stronger tribes in history, at least in their history.
Yeah. It's just it's wild when you think about it.
Yeah, because I kind of like the idea that it isn't a mythological creature. Rather, it's just a different version of man. Could also be that they were not really dwarves per se, but just shorter than the average Cherokee. But again, I've seen people who are 1.6 meters able to take down a dude at 180.
Yeah.
The only thing you need to do is just hit the guy at the right just need to hit the guy at the right angle. Down you go. It doesn't matter how big and strong you are.
Exactly. That, the story of David and Goliath. There we go.
Oh yeah.
And I think the other thing is, if you've got a culture that has been isolated for a long time and they have a high population or a high incidence of albinism, what is it? What's the photophobia, where you can't? It's not, unfortunately, being afraid of being photographed, is like going out in the sun.
Yeah, you're afraid of light, or rather light unsettles you because, well, it's too bright.
Yeah. So
They were kind of like
if
Bane.
you
You merely adopted the dark. I was born in it,
Mhm.
molded by it. When I first saw the light, it was just bright.
Hmm.
They're all Bane.
Well, that explained why they unnerved the Cherokee so much.
Yeah. Imagine a bunch of short-grown Banes just coming at you.
Yeah. Oh, maybe they were the original Habsburgs.
Oh dear God. No, wait, these guys were actually capable of fighting. I don't really think the Habsburgs were much of a fighting people.
That's true. That is true. It really does make you wonder. You know what the hell started these stories, because it doesn't strike me as just something made up to, you know, scare the kiddies.
Nah. You don't really make a nemesis creature that is this small without some kind of magic power. Did these get described to have some kind of magic power? Because so
That's
far,
the
these seems to
thing.
be described in order to just be an other.
They're very much an other.
Yeah,
That's
but
the thing.
different, you know? Oh, you gotta watch these. They only come out at night. It doesn't give me the same feeling of, oh, these creatures are dangerous because they can do this or spit fire. It's like, no, they're just smaller. It's kind of trying, almost as if they're trying to insult them while still respecting them in some way, you know? We were able to be at
Well,
war with them,
it's
but they were small, stocky, you know?
well, and I would say normally there's kind of a predilection to kind of make them seem more powerful, more, yeah, adept at war, and you just, because you have your hero who happens to be better, you get to, yeah, you destroyed them.
Yep.
But with the Moon-Eyed people, I don't really get that impression. Yeah, that's the thing. It's very much a standardized people. Yeah, like just, but some people that were definitely not the same. Now, I guess you could also ask the question of, where did they go after, they'd come to an agreement to leave the lands?
They weren't wiped out. You said they sort of fought, and then after being defeated, they agreed to leave or some shit. More like an
Correct.
accord
Correct.
than annihilation.
Yes. It was like they ground each other down and then decided, well, we'll leave rather than be annihilated like the Auroras. Although the actual Aurora people, I think, were wiped out much later than the Moon-Eyed people just packing up and leaving.
Maybe the Moon-Eyed people could see the writing on the wall.
But
Hey! I was kind of hoping you'd get that one.
yes. You and your jokes, Trim.
Hey, it's better than being an eyesore. Eh.
Ooh. You know what? All
Oh.
right.
Yeah, let's go. It's the simple things in life.
Yeah. And so, this is something else that stands out about them, and I think part of the reason why they got maybe there is something to do with the Welsh that were supposedly coming over to North America. They're bearded. That's not something you typically see as part of the culture there.
Wait, a question. Sorry for suddenly interrupting, but
Yeah.
Where does the Cherokee territory go? Anywhere
You
cross?
know that
Is it along like the northern parts of America, along the Atlantic?
no, it's in the Appalachians,
Right.
um, which basically I'm gonna see if I can pull a map. But it's like kind of the central portion of the upper South in North America. I will throw a image out at you
Thank
so you
you.
can see. So
Right.
that's considered the historic range of the Cherokee.
Right. Oh, because suddenly I started thinking that, of course, this is just pulling thing out of ass, theorizing here for the fun of it more than anything. Uh, what if they were like Vikings?
Possibly. I mean, it's in the realm of possibility, but again, would they be that small in stature?
Well, some Vikings were relatively short. I was
Uh,
thinking more about their builds, eyes, hair.
yeah. Well, I thought that too, but the part of me that says no really goes back to their stature being so small.
Again, there could be
But
a
the
hint of
question,
insult there between them, though, so the Cherokee chose to remember them as
oh yeah,
shorter than what they were. But then again, I'm now just grasping at straws. That's it.
well, and my pushback is also grasping at straws. What's the truth here? Yeah, well, yeah, we often get belittling terms thrown out, and yeah, that's exactly how they were, and it turns out they weren't.
I mean, they did. People do remember Napoleon to be much shorter than what he was.
Correct, because wasn't he actually 5'8" or something like that? So my height,
Yeah, and that
if I
is
remember
a
correctly.
yeah, and of course, if you it was easy to be a runt back in the day too, because if you missed one meal too many, you didn't really grow up much as a kid. I mean, you see it
Oh,
today too.
that
A lot of kids who are really short tend to be malnourished as kids or didn't really eat well.
So, oh, that's interesting. So, according to the French, Napoleon was 5'2",
Okay.
but in an English measurement, he's actually 5'6".
So the French remember him shorter than that, and the Brits. Huh. But then again,
Yeah,
the English were better at being more noble at the ones they defeat than anyone else. Let's be fair.
exactly.
They,
Um,
for all their mistakes, the English knew how to have something called dignity once in a time.
and oh, that's it. So yeah, at that time, although I don't know if I trust this answer, but the average height for that time for a Frenchman is 5'5". So he was slightly taller than the average Frenchman. Yeah,
No wonder they kept losing to the English.
that's pretty. Yeah. Well, it'd be interesting to see what the what the average height for an Englishman was. And this is really wildly off topic, but what the heck?
Well, you can also check out the Norse in that case, just to see if my wacky theory actually has any water. Holds any water, I guess is the right expression.
So the average height for a British male in that time period was 5'6" to 5'7", but the French were 5'5", so they're a little bit taller than the frogs.
Ribbit.
And I guess, yeah, well, when you've got Wellington, yeah, I can't remember what his height was. I thought he was close to 6 foot, but 5'9".
Okay.
So I'm the same height as Wellington. 5'8", 5'9" is what they're saying. So that's where my range is.
Mhm.
So I'm the same height as Wellington. So I'm a little bit taller than Napoleon.
Neat.
Yeah.
Hey.
We will do. And then
Let's see. So they were pale, you say, right?
that is correct.
All right.
Oh, that's interesting.
Wait, what? Oh, shit.
So at that time period, probably maybe because of food shortages, the average Norwegian height actually dropped in the 1800s and then returned.
It did. In the 1800s, you say?
Yes.
Yeah. I don't remember exactly what happened in the 1800s, but there have been a few time periods where we really didn't have much food. Hell, during the World War, we were struggling a bit on many ways.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's it. Huh. I'm going down a rabbit hole of height for some reason.
Well, there are worse things to go down rabbit holes with.
True. It's just kind of fascinating that human height varies so much based on average kind of averages, and currently now the average height in the United States is on the decline, although I would be shocked if that's not related to Sultan's topics.
Yes, that, yeah.
Yes. Anyway, moving right along.
Please, and thank you.
But it does remind me of one of the more fascinating things I remember reading about during the First World War, where the Americans were just considered like bigger, not fat, but just like physically larger on average.
Kind of like tougher
And I think
builds, right?
Yeah, and I think that had a lot to do with the accessibility to food that was a bit higher in the U.S.
Let's see, what kind of hair color do you say they were? What do you say?
They were light-haired, yeah. So kind of like maybe a whitish blonde color.
Yeah. I'm gonna stick a bit to my wacky conspiracy theory that these guys might have had a little bit of Norse in them. Though they used clubs, right? Mostly?
I just like the war club. It's never really described. I've seen references to them being archers, to them not really doing anything but killing with their bare hands. Yeah.
Huh.
It's very strange.
Well, Vikings did that. And yes. Oh, okay. I have found my new favorite pet theory then. this one up. There you go. Well, we're kind of sticking with the dwarf theme here, so
Yeah.
could have been an opportunity there. Let's see. Look a bit more caveman-y than I might originally have intended, but still.
Well,
Serves its
could be
purpose.
worse.
It could be a lot worse.
Yep.
Mm.
And let's. Oh, that's interesting. There's and I'll send it for your editor. Tennessee near Sparta. So you've got Athens, Athens, Tennessee, and then Sparta, Tennessee. In the 1828 edition of the Cherokee Phoenix, very small people deposited in coffins of stone. The largest was 19 inches and appeared to be great age, with their teeth having been worn smooth and short. Many of the tombs had been opened and skeletons examined. The graves are about 2 feet deep, and the coffins are stone made of laying flat stone on the bottom, one on the side, and then one over the corpse. They're buried with their heads to the east, laid on their backs, and their hands on their breasts. The bend of the left arm found a mug that would hold nearly a pint made out of stone. That's interesting. Some seashells. One of these skeletons had pearl necklace. Apparently it was found in what was considered kind of an ancient town location. And okay, yeah, that's the basics of it. That's very strange.
Indeed.
That is really strange. Now that's attributed to some of the moon-eyed people ideas.
Very fascinating.
Yeah, it does ask a lot of questions.
Well, it does really. It makes for interesting conversation, if nothing else.
Indeed. Well, and it also allows you to go, okay, what the hell is this?
Let's see how this one goes. So,
and there's an earlier article, not article, but it makes a book entry by a new views of the origin of the tribes and nations of America by Benjamin Smith Barton, Doctor, member of Antiquaries of Scotland, American Philosophical Society, yada yada yada. And this was published in 1797.
okay.
And let's see. Yeah, that's where one of the first recorded mentions of the Cherokee expelling them in their past. And there's also, let's see, the 1823, the Nature and Aboriginal History of Tennessee, and then an 1888 publication by James Mooney, ironic name, about myths of the Cherokee. So yeah, it's very interesting. And there's also, and he's considered a credible witness, John Sevier, the first governor of Tennessee.
Sounds severe. Pardon the pun.
Uh,
Couldn't help it. Sorry, it was right fucking there. It was right fucking there. It was right there, okay?
yeah. Fine. But yeah, so he went down and made some note about the Fort Mountain in Georgia.
Huh?
So it's a very strange, like it's a very strange thing because it's also very, very hard to dismiss it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, wait a minute, you're saying that these things don't exist, but they very obviously do. So I just hate the attempts of just rampant dismissal that modern skeptics had. It's like, well, it's big. We can't prove that it was the theory. It was actually like white people that had come before. And like, okay, fine. But just because you can't support that theory doesn't mean the rest of them are invalid.
Science right now doesn't know everything, and it's the process of figuring the fuck out what it has happened. You know, exactly what's gonna happen.
Yep.
But hey, a lot of people just get off at being a bunch of naysayers anyway. That's nothing new on this show, as we've many times lamented.
Well, and I think it does a disservice to these those that have gone before. They're like, okay, they're onto something. We just don't know what.
Exactly.
I do love the fact that there's just so many people focused on this kind of lore, because it's just so it just screws up this idea that we can understand it all. So part of me would absolutely love to know like what the actual story is, another part of me is like, I don't really care.
Yeah. Sometimes it's nice to just have a mystery as well.
Yep.
There's a reason why Tolkien didn't write everything down in Lord of the Rings. Just saying that.
Yep.
You get a lot of mysteries.
Mythology's fun. It's a good thing.
Let's see. Doing a little bit of like dirty work on this one, but that's kind of the intention.
Yeah, I mean, you are a filthy animal after all, Trim.
Yar. Let's see. Do I have anything else better than that? If anyone wonders why I haven't diversified brushes that much yet, it's because, well, I've been using this a lot, but I haven't really reached the level of familiarity that I had with the previous set, so bear with me. It will be a little bit of a lazy for some, I guess, but I do what I can with what I have.
But lazy works.
Indeed. Gradual development, and I'd like to think that I've been doing pretty well so far. Because holy crap, these fucking brushes are so damn nice. Sorry. I'm gonna say that for a few more episodes. No, but seriously, they are really nice to use. Like, holy crap! It's imagine using you've been making a lot of food at home, right? You know the difference between a sharp knife
Yeah.
and a not as sharp knife. It is
And
decent.
basically a hunk of metal.
Yeah. Well, the previous ones were decent, but they were not as sharp as they could have been, right? So every time you make something, it becomes a bit more like a chore, and suddenly you get this. Surprisingly, your knife has magically turned into a really new sharp knife, and I was like, oh, okay, now everything's fun again. Give you all the tomatoes. Chef parables. That's what we do here. I can never escape my
Indeed.
job, ever. Let's see. Not one day. We'll see what happens. Or maybe he'll come back in 10 years and be like, hey, still a chef. For 19 years. We'll see. Yeah, how many species of people have actually had dwarfism? Or, been short, stout? Okay.
Yeah, I really have no idea.
You know what? I like this look.
That does look pretty good. Now you just got to get the eyes correct.
Yep. Gonna do the cloth clubs and then I'll do the background. Currently at 46 minutes, so I should be able to do this rather quickly. Let's see. But yeah, how many species have been found remnants that they were rather short, stocky?
That's a question I really don't have a good answer to. I know there's been at least half a dozen cases
Yeah.
where
Pygmies are real.
pygmies, the Homo florensians, and Indonesia.
And
things of that nature.
And every friend I have who is of Korean descent, by the way. It's okay, I have the pass. Again, they're my friends, and they're the ones
the K-Pass?
Yeah, they're the ones who said that I'm a vertically challenged individual.
Yeah.
I really appreciate these people. One of them is the guy doing my tattoos. Oh, speaking of which, he has a Unicron figure that's the size of a fucking person. A dude that is 1 meter and 50 centimeters has a Unicron figure that almost reaches 2 meters. It's fucking hilarious.
That might be a little excessive.
If I can't be tall, my figures will be tall, damn it.
I was going to say exactly. I was like, maybe I shouldn't.
If I was a short bastard, I'd love one of those. I could try to make them into a mech.
Yeah.
Let's see. No, this isn't the mecha episode. This is the, wherever the hell they're from, Moon-Eyed people. I do like theory crafting. What could they have been? Where could they be from? What if we just go the supernatural angle, though? Is there anything that would suggest a supernatural angle to their existence?
There's actually quite a bit.
All right.
Yeah, again, kind of that cave dwelling aspect. That functioning only at night, so they were kind of considered terrifying. And there's a lot of tribal lore and mythos, at least with the Western tribes. And actually, well, not the Western, the Eastern tribes and a lot of the Middle tribes about not attacking at night or you'll lose your soul.
Oh.
So night battles were considered, kind of forbidden.
Well, and these guys were, since they were only nocturnal, they would essentially just not just be a risk to the physical safety, but also the spiritual safety.
Correct.
Wait, did that include self-defense?
I mean, no, I mean if you're attacked, you defend yourself. But it was war parties didn't go at night. Battles were always during the day, stuff like that, which makes sense when you don't have a lot of illumination to help yourself with. But night battles are always considered risky and for coordination, but it never stopped people in the past, at least in the European past. And while there's kind of a natural human instinct to fear the dark, it's never you're going to lose your soul if you get killed when you're on a raid and it's dark. Rather, it's like, there's spooky stuff that's out there. So I do find that an interesting problem.
The things that go bump in the night, as they say.
Yes. Ghosties and ghoulies and things that go bump in the night. I do like that little stanza.
It's cool. I haven't really heard all of it. I heard only part of that prover. Is it what do you call stanza?
I'm sorry?
What do you call it, stanza?
Stanza.
What did you say?
Stanza. Sorry. I'm like trying to think in Norwegian, trying to figure out what you're saying, and you're speaking in English.
Lufthansa. Lufthansa. There you go. If I will make sense, I'll call you and tell you. Highly unlikely, though. Let's see. Okay. Now, if I do this. Eyes is something I really like to draw.
I see. Hey. Who can play this game?
I should have seen that coming. Huh? Aye, sir. Messic's gonna try and hurt me whenever we meet, isn't he?
Yeah. You're going to get your... No, you're going to get your punishment.
Shit.
Yeah.
Well, I should have seen that coming.
Well, you've inflicted a lot of punitive damage to others.
Yeah. Better than punitive. Let's see. Yeah. You know what? These are better unmodified, I think. There we go.
Cool.
I think so too. Now, for the background itself. Click the right C, dumbass. It ain't easy being green. Or blue.
Or
and I'm stopping at the coloration.
People.
Hey, yes. Deep north. I'm gonna have a little fun with this one.
I see you're getting more into the backgrounds.
Yeah. Having a lot of fun with those. Ooh, hello, nurse. Mountain lilac, fittingly enough. Pepperberry?
What?
No, that's the name. Literally the name of this thing.
Oh.
See?
Oh, yeah. Salt mellow,
Bleach
stag.
Bleach is visibly confused.
Yeah, it's like, what's going on here, man?
I mean,
I feel
man.
under personal attack.
Now I'm just fucking around, but I still give myself a few more
But have you
minutes.
found out?
Not yet, but I'm pretty sure that day will come with a vengeance.
Ah,
Let's see. Much smoother. Very nice. The plan was to make it look like a cave, but might as well just be on a more of a patrol thingy.
Okay. Yeah, it's coming along. Maybe throw some stars up in the sky.
That's the plan. Make this a little darker. There we go.
It is very much like a caveman looking crowd there.
It is.
It's kind of cool though.
I like it. I like it too. Let's see. Sometimes you just gotta have a little bit of caveman.
Exactly. Actually, that makes me wonder about the old Brown Mountain Lights. That's
Brown Mountain Lights.
So there's in Brown Mountain, North Carolina. There's a place where, and they claim they've debunked it, but I don't personally believe it.
Debunking is lame, and we all know it.
Especially the way they do it.
Yep.
And it's all of my communications are blowing up at once. Sorry.
That's okay. Bleach has become a little busy guy. He's become the boss of his own hobby, which is honestly a pretty good thing for his sake.
It's something.
All right. Now, one last line here, and that should do it. There we go. Now.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting looking at how some things kind of cross over internationally.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my. Idiots everywhere. They're all over the place. And they're all talking to me right now. Oh, hey, Trim.
Have you know they're quiet?
No, yeah.
Okay, relatively. Theoretically. Shut up, Bessic. I know him. Let's see. What would be good for light? Fuck it.
I would say just a little bit of starlight, just kind of like little points of, yeah, that's about it. Nature. Oh my.
There we go. Just need to find the right one. I have one here somewhere.
Yeah, I'm. Oh. Yeah, it's a little too tightly spaced.
Yeah, I need something with a bit more size. That's it. What do you know?
There you go. No.
Damn it. I thought you were the chosen one.
And no more pepperberry.
Let's see, where the hell?
Maybe that. I saw Ravenswood. That looked kind of interesting.
Ravenswood? Where?
Go. Maybe it was pastels or mark.
There you go.
Oh, there we go. And just do like a light pass over it.
Oh, okay. I got an idea. Just bear with me for a moment.
But I'm not a bear.
Well, too bad. You gotta bear it.
No bears.
Hey, would you choose the bear, or would you choose...
No.
The best if a man should do like a northern light kind of thing, but I don't have time for that. There we go. Not exactly perfect, but not too bad either. Ooh. I'm thinking this is pretty good.
Oh yeah, man. That's awesome.
Yeah. Well,
I like it.
thank you. I'm pretty happy with the two again. There's a... Oh. Never mind. Anyway, I like it. It's honestly... Yeah, it's still a bit rough, but I'm still getting used to the different kind of tools here. And I kind of like how this turned out. A bunch of cavemen, Euro-Norse people here, walking around like, I wonder who we're gonna torture next with our fantasy clubs.
They're gonna go after Cherokee Jack. Mystery Science theater reference for those that know.
Yeah. Haven't really seen that one. Looks like
I'll send you the link.
Well, as we now have the two moon-eyed peoples walking out in the night, looking for something. What it might be, who knows? Treasure, victims, prey. Unknown. But it is the conclusion of today's episode. Thank you once again, Blade, for joining me here. It's always a pleasure having you.
You're quite welcome.
Thank you. And of course, a big thank you to Besek, who has to sit down and edit all of this. Thank you very much for your hard work, dude. Appreciate it. And also a big thank you to Robert Renato for continuously allowing me to abuse all of his music. Go to all three people's channels and have a look-see at their content, as all three of them make really good stuff. And of course, to everyone who's taken time out of the day to either listen and or watch to this video, thank you very much for your time, and I hope you have a fantastic day. Goodbye, everyone.
Cheers.